Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here with another deck profile, and this time, as you can see, we are running, showing or showcasing our Crusadia deck. Now this deck I built purely on artwork alone, and I must admit, when Crusadia Maximus then came out in the Mega Tin in 2019, I thought, yep, that is a card for me. So I make sure I sort of went around the whole deck and made sure I picked up all the pieces and eventually put the deck together. It's another, sort of World Chalice, World Legacy sort of archetype. I think it's sort of spawned off the back of that anyway. There's not an awful lot of that going on in this deck, but I think it's part of that lore anyway, But I just love the idea of this one. It's another link deck, of course, and it's got some really nice artwork throughout the monsters, and that's primarily why I built it. So I'll talk you through it, of course, as usual. Show you my ratios. There's a couple of tech choices in here, so feel free to comment on whether you think those are worth it or not. But we'll run through it sort of step by step as per usual. But in the first instance, and of course, we are running 3 Crusadia Maximus. Now, the Crusadia monsters generally are, they all have the same effect, where you can special summon the card from your hand in defense position to a zone a link monster points to. So you need to be careful, but you can actually spam this deck, go into this deck very quickly and spam the field quite quickly. And depending on the situation that you're facing, you need to decide which link monster to go into, and then of course you might be able to special summon more Crusadia monsters to the zones that link monster points to, and it just starts one combo after another. Now, I wouldn't say I'm any sort of expert in playing this deck by any stretch, but it's so much good fun to play. I really do say that if you are sort of learning certainly the link side of the game, then this is a good option to go to as well. So obviously there's secondary effects. So once it's on the field, you can target one Crusadia link monster you control, and this turn, if it battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. So that's a really good way of sort of getting some serious damage done to your opponent. Another reason why I've run this deck is Arborea. She's the sort of waifu of the deck, so much so that I've actually named one of my D&D characters after her. So one of my characters is called Arborea. I don't do any YouTube D&D, but I just thought I'd briefly mention it there. So she obviously can special summon herself, but if a Crusader monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So a little bit of protection there from Arborea. Next one, also a 3-of, and again a stunning looking card. You can see why someone who's like me sort of likes the artwork on it. This absolutely, I mean, that's the guard dragon from the lore again, but this is true Crusader Draco, of course. And this one again special summons itself, but if this card is normal or special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, you can target one Crusadia card in your graveyard except Draco and add it to your hand. So again, loading it up, you link this off, and then you've got another monster to go into when you link summon again. Next one, again a 3-of, is Crusadia Reclusia, which is the spellcaster off the deck. So they've all got different types on this one. But again, special summons itself, but if this card is normal or special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, you can target one Crusadia card you control and one card your opponent controls and destroy them. So a little bit of destruction effect there. And finally, for the Crusadia monsters, certainly the main deck at least anyway, another 3-of, which is Crusadia Leonis. You always want the names in your hand, of course, so I've got no shame in having 3 of every monster available. But again, you can target one Crusadia link monster you control. If it battles a defense position monster this turn, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. And of course, depending on which link monster you go to, you can obviously have more than one link arrows pointing down. Incidentally, arrows pointing up in some cases are more beneficial, but we'll get to that when we get into the extra deck. But of course, you can have multiple effects going off at the same sort of time, is what I was going to say there. Non-Crusadia support, I've gone for 3 Parallel Exceed. I do run this card in several of my decks actually, but I do find it very useful, and I think it's a good looking card in the prismatic rare, secret rare from Megatin 21. They're not that easy to get hold of because I think most people sort of have at least have a play set of this in the collection, I would say. But me being greedy, I've got a few play sets, so sorry about that. But I've been collecting a number of years, so bear that in mind. The other one, and a bit more of a tech choice, is 4 Mud Skipper. I'll just run through the effects on this guy. So during the main phase, you can reveal 1 link monster in your extra deck, and if you do, when you link summon this turn, you can treat this card as link material with the same name, type, and attribute as the revealed monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can add 1 level 5 or higher Cyburst monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effective 4 Mud Skipper once per turn. So just the 2 off on that one. But obviously that then alludes to sorry, I forget. What I forget is oh, of course, yes. Sorry, that's I've forgotten why I put it in the deck then for a minute. But obviously, it's just to get the Parallel Exceeds out. Of course, just a quick way. I've also got World Legacy Crown and World Legacy Lance. You're probably fairly familiar with these ones, to be honest with you, but you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position to a zone a link monster points to. Always a great start. You can only special summon World Legacy World Crown once per turn this way. When a monster on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck activates its effects, quick effects, you can tribute this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. If this normal summoned card or normal summoned or set card is tributed, you can add 1 World Legacy spell track card from your deck to your hand. And then World Lance is monsters your opponent controls cannot attack World Legacy monsters you control, except this one. You can only use each of the following effects of World Legacy Lance once per turn. And during your battle phase, if a link monster battles a monster quick effect, you can discard this card. The opponent's battling monster loses 3,000 attack, which again helps towards the OTK with Maximus. If a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, special summon 1 World Legacy token, Machine Dark level 1, attack 0, defense 0 to both players' fields in defense position. So that's what those little additions for. And last but not least, for the monsters, we are running a Kaiju package. So I've gone for these 4, so the original 4, if you like, I think. I need to change out some of the rarities on these, I think, but you get the point. So they've all got their uses, of course, but there's a link monster in the extra deck that utilizes the fact that let me start again. So you can obviously, when you're summoning these to your opponent's field, you can obviously select which zone they're summoning into, which then makes use of one of the effects that I'm coming up to in the extra deck very shortly. Right, so into spells now. So with the Kaijus, of course, we are also running Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, just to make sure we get to those Kaiju monsters as quickly as possible, whilst at the same time getting rid of some of the monsters we don't want. And then I've got a few Crusadia spells as well. So I've got 2 Crusadia Power, 2 Crusadia Testament, and 1 Revival. So I just think the artwork on these is absolutely awesome. I really wish that obviously some of them are a slightly higher rarity. Revival's in Super, of course. Crusadia Testament as an ultra rare maybe would absolutely look outstanding. And I think Crusadia Power as a secret rare might look really, really good as well. They're probably not that good to be that sort of rarity, but we'd like to see some sort of upgrade at some point, please, Konami. But power, target 1 Crusadia monster you control. That Crusadia monster is unaffected by card effects this turn, except its own. It can only activate 1 power per turn, but it's a quick play spell, so obviously it can try and get you out of trouble sometimes. Testament, you can only activate 1 of these effects, so your opponent cannot activate card or effect in response to the activation of your Crusadia monster effects this turn. And after damage calculation, if your Crusadia Link monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw cards equal to the monster's Link rating, which is great, of course, if you are destroying a Link monster, but we'd probably be aiming at the other effect if not. And all Crusadia Link monsters on the field gain 500 attack. This is obviously a field spell, by the way. And once per turn, you can target one Crusadia Link monster you control this turn. Even if this card leaves the field, it can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack. So again, just backing up the Maximus play there as well. But stunning artwork, honestly, love it. Couple of standard sort of one-offs. Caught by the Grave, of course. Reinforcement of the army. We've got a few warriors in the deck. One Monster Reborn and one World Legacy Succession. All fairly obvious stuff with those and no need to explain. And a couple of the Crusadia traps as well. So we've got two Crusadia Vanguard and one Crawler. Encroaching on the Crawler archetype, which I really didn't want to do, but they are kind of linked, Crusadia and Crawler. So, but I'm not hot on the artwork on Crawler at all. So, but Vanguard, absolutely awesome. You've got Maximus, Draco, and in fact, you've got a whole bunch in there. But when you activate this card, you can also tribute one Crusadia or World Legacy monster. And if you did, special summon one Crusadia or World Legacy monster with a different original name from your deck or graveyard. And while you control a Crusadia Link monster, your opponent's monsters can only attack Link monsters for attacks. You can only activate one Vanguard per turn. That's a continuous trap. Also, special summon this card as an effect monster, Insect Earth, level 2. Attack 300, defense 2100. This is also still a trap. If this card is special summoned by this effect to a zone a Link monster points to, you can add one World Legacy card from your deck to your hand, which is, of course, why we're running it. That is the main deck, ladies and gentlemen. So moving swiftly on to the extra deck. Don't want to go through these too much, but I'll run through the Crusadia stuff, of course. Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax. I think everyone might forget this is actually a Crusadia card, but it certainly is. You know, a lot of people running this in all types of extra decks. One Borrowed Sword Dragon, I should say, as the extra Link 4. I've got one Link 3, which is the Nightmare Unicorn. I do hope this is in focus. I think it is in focus. And also running Equimax as well, which is the first of the Crusadia Link monsters. So gains attack equal to the combined original attack of all monsters on this card points to, which you'll notice, of course, has got a up-facing arrow, which means I can point it at a Kaiju card that I previously put on the field. Monster this card points to cannot attack. Once per turn, quick effect, you contribute one Crusadia or World Legacy monster this card points to, then target one face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. So a really nice little effect there. I've also got a Lib, the World Blade Keymast, just because it fits with the theme. And onto the Link 2s now. So you've got Crusadia Regulex. So gains attack equal to the combined original attack of all monsters this card points to, which again it's got an up-facing arrow. Monsters this card points to cannot attack. If an effect monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, except you can add one Crusadia spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Regulus once per turn. So it's obviously a searcher for some of your spells and traps, of course, as well. Running 2 of those, very important. Just the one Spartha, which is this one here, the Arborea variant. So gains attack equal to the original attack of any monster this card points to. A monster this card points to cannot attack, and once per turn, if an effect monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, except during this time, so you can target one monster in either player's main monster zone except this card and move it to another main monster zone, which means obviously you can point it to maybe one of a zone one of your other Link monsters is pointing to, or you know, that kind of effect anyway. And then probably the most important one is, we've not got quite enough room there, but we're going to put them up here, is Crusadia Magius. Again, available as the Prismatic Secret Rare in the Megatin 19. which we obviously had to pick up 3 of. So gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster this card points to. This card, the monster this card points to cannot attack. If an effect monster is special summoned to the zone this card points to, you can add 1 Crusadia monster from deck to hand. That's really important. It's obviously the searcher. It just means you can carry on with your combos. An immediate sort of 3 of in that circumstance. We've also got 1 Salaman Great Almirage as just another link 1 option, and then a couple of XEs as well. When I say a couple, I mean 3. So on Tornado Dragon, my sort of go-to rank 4. I've got a Firewall XC Dragon, which is, I think this is the only deck I run that monster in. And then just for funsies, we've got a Castel, the Sky Blasker Musketeer as well. Guys, that is my Crusadia deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed. I have as well, to be honest with you, because it's a while since I've sort of picked this deck up and gone, oh, actually, this is. I remember why I built this now. It's so much good fun to play, and I think I'll probably be getting it out a little bit more often now and just having a little bit more of a play with it. Hope you enjoyed. Comment on it by all means if I've missed something. If you think I've missed an extra deck monster that I've not really thought of, or my ratios are all over the place, do let me know, because like I say, I'm not the best Crusadia player in the whole world. I just built this deck because I like the look of it and it's really good fun to play. If you think there are things that I can perhaps have to make a little change, please do let me know by the comment section. Throw me a like, do subscribe. We're at 252 subscribers as we are filming this. Really, obviously looking for the 500, little way to go yet, but that's absolutely fine. I'm in no panic. Hope you enjoyed the content, guys, and if you do, like I say, throw us a subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next profile. Cheers, bye.